Worries on my mind, it's been a tough week. My life feels a void, there's something that I need. My supplies on the table, I grab a comfy seat. I need to craft to put my mind at ease. Crafting changed my life, it mends my soul. In my happy space, I'm in full control. It's crafting time, craft my troubles away. Give me a world of color to brighten up my day. Crafting videos on, searching what I can do. Sipping on my drink, feeling inspired and new. Crafting's good for the soul, it's so true. Bringing beauty into the world through. As I craft, my spirits start to climb. It's not just a pastime, it's a state of mind. It's more than just a hobby, it's a way of life. I expressed myself, everything is feeling just right. It changed my life, it mends my soul. In my happy space, I'm in control. It's crafting time, craft my troubles away. Give me a world of color to brighten up my day. Crafting videos on, searching what I can do. Sipping on my drink, feeling inspired and new.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, Gifted Crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Good morning out there. We've got people from all over the place. Oh my gosh, I see someone from Australia. Hi, Roz. Good morning, Michigan. We've got North Carolina. We've got North Central Texas. We've got freezing Maryland. And we've got San Antonio, Texas. Let's see, we've got Illinois here. Good morning. Wow. Good morning, and thank you guys all for tuning in this morning. And we are ready for just another wonderful day of crafting. And guess what? It's TGIF, guys. Yay! TGIF. It is Friday. I'm so happy that it's Friday. And what a week. It's been a week, and you know, we've had such exciting things happening this week. You know, we've reached our 10,000 subscriber goal, and we just had a blast. And thank you to all of you who, you know, just have been with us in this journey of ours, and it's just been amazing, and it's so much fun to be able to share it with you guys. And we're just gonna have a great time today. Let's see, from Philly, good morning. Oh my God, it's gonna be over 100 degrees in Texas. Ouch. Yeah, Jenny, stay indoors and craft. It's just way too hot out there. I'm tuning in from Miami, Florida, and it is pretty hot down here. Yesterday, I think we reached 92 degrees, so not as it's not 100, but that's pretty hot. And then times the humidity that we get here, it feels like we're in an oven. So great day to kind of stay indoors and keep nice and cool. Good morning from Michigan and Louisiana. And there's my friends from Canada. Good morning. All righty. Guys, go ahead and grab your little drink. We've got to do our morning toast. And, you know, I'll just pour you a cup if you haven't gotten it yet. You know, I don't know. Do you want 1 lump or 2? Coffee, you want it with cream and sugar, or do you just want something else? Maybe a little pina colada to wake you up in the morning. Who knows? Whatever it is that you drink, go ahead and grab your little drink, raise your glasses, because it's Friday and we're excited to be here, and you know, it's just fun, right? It's just fun. So here's to you guys, and thank you for all the support that you give me. So let me just grab my little sip. Okay. Oh, needed that nice cold water in the morning. That's just what I need. So if you are tuning in for the first time, thank you and welcome. And this is a show that's all about crafting. And my name is Nancy and I'm with GiftsHQ. And we just like to kind of have our little chatter about all kinds of crafts like quilting and sewing and just anything you can think of. We like to cover it here and we like to talk about it and have fun with it. And if that's something that you're into, go ahead and go into the chat, because we've got an amazing community and we've got our welcoming people out there that will welcome you in. If you have any questions or tips that you'd like to share, just go ahead and put it in the chat, because we like to support each other, including all other content creators. So let us know in the chat who you are. All righty, awesome. Yay, happy Friday. Yes, we love it. Okay, awesome. So we've got our little drink. Let's go grab our snacks. I see some people in the chat have been asking about their snacks, and they want to go get their snacks. So let's go get our snacks really quickly. We've got our truck. Here it is coming down the road, and it's got everything on the truck, guys. Anything that you would like today is in that truck. Coffee, tea, donuts. We've even got the unicorn going by. Yes, you know, it's all virtual. It's all free and calorie free too, so grab anything you want. We even got the healthy stuff like the carrots and the kale. Alrighty, good morning from East Texas. Yes, thank you for joining. Awesome. Okay, so we've got some stuff going on here and we want to finish this up, right? So we have had all the entire month of July. We did Christmas in July, and we've had some amazing projects that we were able to put together. We've done things from a quilt. What else have we done? My gosh, we did a table runner with the pillowcase pattern. We also did this pillow wrap, which we are finishing up today. And although now we are in August and no longer in July, we do need to finish it up so that we can get that and check that off of our list as being done. But now we're in August and it is the 1st, and you know, a lot of the kids are going to be going back to school. So a lot of people preparing for that. And, you know, we've got tons of other projects to do. So on Monday, we're going to start with a whole fresh project, and we'll see what we can come up with and get ourselves to learning some different techniques and learning new things, because that's what we're all about, right? Awesome. Okay. Oh, the food truck needs to offer some boiled eggs. Yeah, I think it's on that food truck, Celia. You might have to ask the little cook back there, but I think they can probably scrounge that up for you. All righty. Awesome. Okay, so yesterday we had a few issues going on technology-wise, but I think today we're in a better place and we've gotten all those kinks out. Looks like that was an update that came in and kind of just crashed us, and it was just crazy. So I don't know if where I got cut off exactly, but we reached our $10,000 more, $10,000, I wish, 10,000 subscriber mark. And we are going to be doing our celebration for that next week on Friday. So a week from today, we'll have our big celebration, and we're going to do some giveaways and some fun things. And I hope you guys are able to join us for that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So, you know, hopefully you guys enjoy that. Yeah. We're sending you some high-tech coffee out there, don't worry, and your egg sandwich and all of that stuff will be out there. You guys just go ahead and grab that stuff, make yourself comfy, get yourself in your cozy spot, and let's just get underway. Okay, so let's go ahead and just kind of review. Now, we've been working on the whole country caboodle. This is a ho 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 pillow wrap and cover kit. Okay, that's what we've been working on. And actually, let's go to our, there we go, that will work a little bit more. So this is what we've been working on during the week, and it's a pretty simple project. We tried to kind of do this with the embroidery machine, kind of went through some steps where you can embroider the blanket stitch. Unfortunately, I only have a 5x7 hoop. That's the biggest hoop that I have. But since I don't have a large hoop, I'm gonna have to do this with my machine manually. So I know we had some technical issues, and we really wanted to get this done today. So I went ahead and did the blanket stitch, and I can tell you that, you know, it was pretty tough because I have a Brother HC 1850. It's a relatively really low cost machine, very small throat space. So I had a really hard time trying to get in there and get that blanket stitch because it is a pretty long pillow wrap, and it was really hard just working with that tiny little throat space. So I'll show you what we did in a minute. One thing, Mr. H wanted me to let you know that you may see some things kind of whizzing around next week. Not sure exactly what that means, but he's got some stuff that he's working on, and there just may be some stuff whizzing around. So, you know, he just wanted me to warn you guys and let you guys know about that. So more to come on that. I won't give anything away. It's just stuff that we're working on. And so you'll have to tune in next week to see what all that stuff is all about. Okay, so again, I went ahead and I did some of the pieces just to kind of jumpstart us. Let me move some of this over. Couple things that I needed to do, and I'm going to see how I can fit this. I'm going to have to fold this kind of. I've got a lot of clips on here, no pins, but I got clips, and I'll show you guys what I did. I went ahead and I put the Santa on here. Can you guys see that? So I went ahead and I put the Santa on here, and I did all of the blanket stitches. Can you guys see the blanket stitches? Let me see if I can angle it in a way that you guys can see it. It's kind of difficult. I think you can see a little piece of it there. But I went ahead and had to do these manually. Now, this is a pretty long pillow wrap, and the throat space on my machine is really small. So let me drag it over so you can see my throat space. If I can turn the machine around this way, maybe it'll be easier for you. So this is the throat space that I have to work with. It's really, really small. So when you're looking at the sewing machines that you're looking to purchase, one of the things that you may want to take into consideration, and of course you got to look at your budget as well. Mine was pretty small, just as small as the little space that's down here. So my little sewing machine only has a little throat space, so I had to kind of jam this pillow wrap into this little tiny space to be able to make the turns and stuff with the blanket stitch. So it was tough. And then on top of that, I have, you see my camera here, on here. That's the camera that where you guys are able to see all the stitching going on down in the bottom. So it's pretty hard to do that. So I really wish I could have just put it on the embroidery machine. It would have made it a lot cleaner and it would have been a lot easier. But however, I did have to kind of do it this way because I don't have the hoop size. So I did the best I could on the blanket stitches, and I guess you can see them a little bit here. So I went all around the beard here and did the blanket stitch, and then I went up on the top and around. Okay, let me see if I can move this down a little bit so you can see here. I think that works. Does that work? There you go. I think you can see that. So all through here, you've got blanket stitches on here. So it has heat and bond light on the other side. So I did iron it down and get all the pieces down. And then I went in with the blanket stitch and just kind of stitched it as best I could. But man, it was really hard getting through that little tiny space. So I did the best I could with what I had. And then on top of that, they give you little embellishments. So I put in the button here onto the end of the hat, and then there's a little tiny button here that you put on top of the little holly leaves. So that's pretty cool. I didn't stitch down the eyes, and I realized that later. I was kind of like, I think I forgot the eyes. So I can stitch a little little French knot right here just to represent the two eyes. And then on the beard here, according to the pattern, you can see they've got all these little swirly lines. If you guys can see that. See those little swirly lines there? So that's something that you can add as well. And so you could quilt that on top of it. So I'm going to see what I can do. There's a couple different ways you can do it. If you can put it on your embroidery machine, if you have that hoop size, you can just do swirly lines. I know in Embrilliance, they give you some really basic designs like a square and a circle, and one of those basic designs is a little swirl that's exactly like the picture on the pattern. And so if you go to Embrilliance and you can just do a whole bunch of swirls, you already have the beard in the program that we scanned with our scan and cut, so you can definitely do that. A little black button would be cute for the eyes as well. Yeah, that's true, Heidi. That's true. I could put the little buttons here. I mean, it's a pretty small space here, but yeah, you could definitely do that too with little buttons. That would be cute. But you can either, for the swirls, you can either do that in Embrilliance and add the swirls that way, or if you want, you can take a little template, something that has the swirls, or you can just freehand it, right? Well, you can take a little marking pen. So here's a water erasable marker right here. Yeah, let's see if it could focus. Let me go out and come. I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. It's really tiny. It's a water erasable marker. This one's by Clover. You guys can see that. You have a little bit of a glare too, so anyway, you would take this marker and just basically go around. You can freehand some little swirls on here, and then that'll kind of let you know where to sew, and then just go to your sewing machine and go ahead and sew on top of those little swirls, just a regular straight stitch. If you want to use some decorative stitches, you can, but then go ahead and sew that on top, and then you've got your little swirls. And you don't even have to do swirls. You can also do other kinds of designs on here. I mean, this is a pretty open space. If you want to put someone's name on here, or, you know, anything like that, you can do. Oh, googly eyes. Flo, that would be funny. Little googly eyes. It is a pillow wrap, so it'll be moved around. So I don't know if I want to have Santa watching me all the time. But that would be pretty cool. One thing that I did do though, and for some reason I'm still not too sure why, so the hat band on the top was separate. It's like two separate pieces here, but then it ends up getting put together, and so you have the heat and bond on it, but the heat and bond, you know, it's a good hold, but after a while it's going to kind of peel off if you don't reinforce it. So I did do a little decorative stitch here in the middle to kind of hold both pieces down. And I have a little piece here. Let me see if I show you. So this is the little decorative stitch, and I just stitched it out on a little sample first. Looks like a little vine. So I went ahead and did this little vine on the band here. I mean, you can barely see it because the thread color is the same thread color as the background. It's a little bit of the green, but I wanted to kind of appear like it was a little vine coming out from the little holly leaves and the little vine going all the way down. So I did do that decorative stitch all the way up here, up to where the button is. So I did do that here. So that was a little bit different, and I thought that would be cute, and it will also reinforce the two pieces here, because I just kind of didn't like how it was two separate pieces. So it's kind of weird on that one, but I really liked it. You can use chenille it and make his beard fuzzy. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Quilting with Harriet, yeah, that'd be a cool thing to do. Kind of make it fuzzy looking there. Pretty neat. Make some chenille it strips. Fur would be fun. Yeah, Krissa, that's true. That would be a lot of fun here. That would be cute. There's another idea. Or, oh, couch yarn. Yeah, that's another one. That's what, see, you guys come up with the best stuff. Really, really cool. So I think, you know, you've got all your pieces here. And like I said, I did the best I could putting it in here with that machine. But I think we did a good job. Now, for the actual decorative stitch, I did have to change my foot on my machine, because in order to use this decorative stitch, it requires the end foot. So I went ahead and changed that. So I did do that. And then now, in order to do the sides here, you had to do the binding. And then on the back of that, the pattern tells you to go ahead and put the rickrack on top in the back. So I did the binding, I've stitched down the binding piece, and now I just have the rickrack being held on with clips, and I flipped the binding over to the back. So all that needs to just get stitched down, and I'm just going to kind of stitch in the ditch all the way down this side, and then also on the other side. Those are all great ideas. What a creative group of crafters. Yeah, we are. We are a creative group, Sandy, and that's what we're all about. So we help each other out with all kinds of tips, and I love that, you know, because people see things different ways, and it's just amazing how many different ways you can do one thing. And I think that's awesome. I think you guys are awesome, and I love having you here on my journey. So, alrighty. The other thing we have to do on here is we have to put the Velcro. So there is, and I just have it clipped here on the bottom so I won't forget. It's just the Velcro down here. We've got to kind of, the pattern doesn't tell you exactly where to put it. Like, it doesn't tell you like, oh, 2 inches from here. No, it just tells you, you know, to wrap the wrap around the pillow, and then just kind of mark where you feel you need it. So depending how tight you want it and how loose you want it. It should be kind of taut because you don't want it sliding off, but not too tight where the pillow is kind of squished in, right? So you just kind of have to adjust things as you go. So that's where we're at on this project, and we're just going to be stitching in the ditch along here on the sides to finish this up, and then putting the Velcro in. We've already got our pillow. My pillow did come in, and so I went ahead and put it inside, and so this is a 14 by 20 inch pillow. So here it is, and I think it's going to really look beautiful once we get this pulled together. This is what it will look like, and let me turn it around for you guys. There we go. It's going to be wrapping around this pillow like this, and I think it's going to look really great. You know, yeah, the rickrack really does help a lot, right, Flo? Yeah, I think it really brings a lot to it. So I think it's going to look really beautiful. And then what I really love about this is that you can take this pillow wrap off, and if they have other ones available, and I think on the back of the pattern they do show some of the ones here. Let me show you here. You can see all of the different ones that they have available for winter, for spring, for fall, you know, so you can change it up. They've got that little pumpkin over there. So I think it's pretty cool. You can change up the wraps and do them for every different season. And so you don't have to keep buying all these pillows. You can just change the wrap itself. And the wrap, you know, are pretty easy to put away. You know, once you're done with it, you just kind of have to fold it up and then put it away. It doesn't take too much space. So I really love that. So, alrighty. So let's now, that would look amazing in a teacher's classroom for Christmas. Oh yeah, that would be. And the kids would love it too. I love that Christmas pillow. And you know, the other thing I'm starting to notice, many other designers out there are starting to make pillow wraps as well. And so this one, of course, is the whole country caboodle one, but I do see some other ones out there, and they're trying to like customize it. So you can do like a, if you want to make your own pillow wrap, you know, you can get your foam in the back, you can get your piece of fabric, and then you can just kind of do back to school with some pretty cool embroidery designs on here, right? You can just embroider something on the fabric with the foam on the back, right? And then just put some rickrack on the side, just like you see here. And you can kind of make your own. So it's pretty cool. Oh, Krista, you have quite a few of their pillow wrap patterns. Yeah, some of them are really cute. And they're all not the same. You know, they don't all just have the rickrack here. You know, they're all just a little bit different. And it's really cool because it makes that visual interest on it, right? Some of them, you know, they have rickracks on them, but the embellishments that they put on here are pretty neat too. So you've got all kinds of different different settings that you can put on that wrap. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, you love this pillow. I do too. I think it's really cool. Okay, so that is everything that we're doing. I've got my Stitch in the Ditch little foot here that I'm going to be putting on my machine, and this one is from Madame So. So I'm going to go ahead and put the foot, change my foot on my machine, and then we're going to get stitching on here. So let's do that. And while I go ahead and change this foot, one thing we haven't done this morning is our crafting news. So we do have some of that going on, and I do have to let you know about that as well. So let me just make myself some space here, move this over to the side. There's a few things that I do have to let you know about. So let's go over to the crafting news real quick. I've got a couple of little stories here to tell you here. Okay. So if you're anywhere near Grand Lake, Colorado this weekend, they've got an event that you need to mark your calendar for. It's the Peaks and Pines Quilt Guild that's hosting their 15th annual quilt show. And this is happening today, Friday and Saturday. So this weekend. So August the 2nd and August the 3rd. It's happening Friday and Saturday. But it says August 2nd, August 3rd. I think they mean Saturday and Sunday. From 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. from the Grand Lakes Center Commons, and that's at 301 Marina Drive. Now, this isn't just a quilt show, it's a celebration. They've got the whole community is celebrating creativity and giving back. And you're just going to be able to admire some really beautiful quilts. You can vote for your favorite quilt. You can even shop for some handcrafted items that are going to be made by some local makers there today. And there's also a special scholarship quilt for sale, and the proceeds are going to go towards students studying textile arts. So how cool is that? The Peaks and Pines Guild has a heart as big as their stitches, and they donate comforting quilts to seniors, kids, assisted living residents, local police, and even veterans through the Quilts of Valor program. So far, they've gifted over 140 handmade quilts for those who served the country. So that's pretty cool. Alrighty, now we're gonna head over to Alaska. And we've got a lifelong crafter named Maureen Keller, who opened up a cozy little space called Winter Solstice Sewing and Crafts. And her journey started with a simple egg. Yeah, I said an egg. She decorated one with wax and dyes as a kid. And thanks to her class that her mom took her to, that childhood event kind of sparked into a full-blown dream, and she decided to open a place with all kinds of crafters where they can all kind of come together. So that's pretty cool. Now, when Joann's Fabrics announced that they were going to be closing, including the one in Anchorage, she knew that it was time to kind of fill in the gaps. So with the support of all her little crafty friends and a whole lot of heart, she started some small, she started off really small, offering classes in everything from egg decorating to crocheting and sewing. And her new shop is nicknamed Cloud City. And it's bright, it's flexible with fabric machines and a lot of space to grow. Right now, it's open on the weekends, and she hopes to make it a true gathering for creative people where they can gather and finish their projects together and try new things side by side. Isn't that amazing? I think that's pretty cool. It's just a really nice reminder that people can kind of, you know, have the space and bring people together and just go on a journey together, just like you guys are on my journey with me here virtually. So if you're in Alaska, you can definitely check that out. Alrighty, so that's what I have for crafting news. I'm going to set that over to the side here so we can get stitching. So I've got my stitch in the ditch foot, and I'm going to bring my little machine over here. There we are. Let me just go ahead. I'm going to change my foot. I've got the J foot in here. I'm going to change it over to the stitch in the ditch foot. Let me move my little threads out of the way. There we go. Okay. Let's set this over to the side so we don't lose it, right? Okay. Here we are. Now, it's pretty long, so let's see how I can adjust myself here. Uh-oh, did I just turn it off? Yes, I did. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, so we're going to start up on the top, and let me remove my little clip here. Got my little mitered corner here. So make sure you have the right stitch in place. So we're going to just do a straight stitch, and it's going to be a stitch in the ditch. And there we go. So we're using our stitch in the ditch foot. And the nice thing about this foot is it has this little piece right here that keeps you nice and aligned and bumped up against this border right here, right? That's what's really nice about this foot, and it'll keep me nice and straight. So I can kind of bump my my binding here, and it's going to bump up against this little metal piece, and it'll keep me nice and straight and keeping my stitches right inside here. So that's going to work out pretty well. Now, this part right here, it's going to go in when on the wrap, so I'm not too worried about this, but I don't like this fraying. I may use a little bit of fray check to kind of control some of the fraying here on the rick rack. So I'll just leave it for right now. The other side here doesn't get any rickrack. This just needs to be kept open so that we can attach it to the Velcro. And I'm gonna move this up a little bit here. And let me just grab my sewing foot, get that a little closer to me. There we go. Alrighty, so I think we are ready to go. I've got my needle in the center, so it's gonna land right there. I'll go ahead and put my needle down. And you can see it's bumped up right against the binding here with the metal guide right there. And so I've already clipped my binding and folded it to the back, and then I have the rickrack on top. So it's going to be capturing the back of this binding that's folded over plus the rickrack on here. And so let me trying to grab some of this here on the side. There we are. So let's go ahead and stitch that out. Oh, I forgot to grab my little tails, but that's okay. Now, I don't have my machine. I kind of reduced the speed on my machine. I'm not allowing it to go full speed because I do want to keep it nice and slow so I can see where I'm going and making sure that I'm hitting that in the ditch spot. So slow it down. I know I'm a speed sewer. I don't know about you guys, but I like to kind of speed through things. And sometimes that's not the best thing to do. So speed it down if you can. Hey guys, did you know there's only 146 days till Christmas? Think about that. I'll let you muddle on that one for a bit. Yeah, 146 days. So those projects, I know Christmas in July is over, but those projects are really going to pile up pretty quickly. So you'll want to be careful with that and make sure that you don't wait for the last minute to get your stuff done. Okay, so we're about a quarter of the way there, and I've got a little clip here holding it together. So I'm going to wait till I get a little bit closer. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove the clip. And then just kind of keep stitching down here right along the line. This little stitch in the ditch foot really makes a big difference because it really allows me to bump my binding up against that little metal guide. And here's another clip now. I did not use any pins. The clips were a lot easier to use for holding down the rickrack. But if you use pins, if you're more comfortable with pins, that's fine. My foot tends to want to go. I got a little thread in there. I'll grab that out later. There's another clip here. So I clipped it about every 2 waves of the rickrack. I went ahead and put a clip here. I think that was sufficient enough. If you want to go 3 waves, you can as well. I think 2 waves kind of did it for me to kind of really anchor it and hold it in place. So let me just check something. Oh, my bottom foot's not turned out. There we go. My little table was kind of a little off on me. Okay. And so what you're not seeing is I am kind of holding the fabric with a little bit of a curve in the end here, just to kind of keep it steady and going. Here's another little thread I need to cut off. But that kind of helps me to really hold the fabric. And I do have my other hand guiding it here on this side as well. But I'm really looking at this gauge and making sure that I stay nice and straight, so it stays in the ditch, because we don't want to see that seam. And here's another clip. This is a pretty long side. So that's why, you know, I think taking your time on here, because you get a little bit tired as you're going through this if it's too long. All right, we're getting towards that end. Get closer to this clip, and then we'll go ahead and remove it. All right. We are almost there. Another clip here. Now I've got the Velcro kind of here on the side, but I think, let me kind of get it out of the way because it may interfere with the foot. So I'll just kind of hold it back here. Okay. Got my little clip here on the end with my little mitered corner there. Now this is where it gets a little tricky because you've got this metal piece right here and it looks like it's going over it, but you may have to kind of lift up your presser foot to make sure that your binding is going through. Let's see how it does. Yeah, it went right over it, so we're good. Alrighty, that looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up, bring my needle up, and let's take this off and see how we did here. Let's move this over to the side, and we'll start all the way on the top. And let's see, how can I angle this? All right, so not too bad. We've got right here, kind of really moving the fabric so you guys can see it. We've got our stitches right in there, and that looks pretty good. You guys see that? So it's right there in the ditch. Looks pretty good. I like that. Okay, so that looks great. I'm going to check the other side, and looks like we have hit the rickrack along with the binding here on the back. So this is looking good. Alrighty, yeah. And so the pattern does not call for you to have a backing on this, but if you wanted to, you can totally put a backing on here, but the pattern didn't call for one, and I was just kind of following the pattern. So it does look a little ugly in the back, but nobody's going to see it because this is what's going to go around the pillow. So I'm fine with that. So now we just have to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So let's see if I can flip this over. I've got clips all over the place here. Let me organize myself a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, I guess I'm a little OCD on that stuff. It just drives me nuts. Okay. So we've got our machine here, and we've got these tails of the rickrack here on the bottom. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I was thinking of just kind of maybe looping it and just kind of keeping it like this. And I could do that, and that'll eliminate any fraying happening, and then just kind of hide it in the back. So I may go back and do that after. We'll have to see, because I think it gives it a nice cleaner finish here, and I won't have to worry if I cut it, I'll have the fraying here on the end. That doesn't look so great. So I may just kind of turn it on itself and then just kind of hide the rickrack in the back and then just sew that down. So I may do that just so you have a nice clean finish on the end here. So we'll see about that. I do have to kind of go back and cut all these little threads, but I'll do that in the end. Got this one thread right here, but let me move this over, and I'm gonna kind of move some of this out of the way. So there's that little Velcro there. And this, I don't know what happened to this corner. It didn't come out as nice as I wanted it to, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about it. All right. There we go. I think we are in the ditch, and I've got this really long handle here on my lap. All righty. So, whoops, sorry guys, I bumped the camera. Let me move over a little bit. There we are. Now we're nice and snug up against our binding. I'm going to take the first clip off here. And let's put our needle down. Looks like we are in position. I've got some threads here, but I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to move forward. Let's see here. My little foot. Alrighty. I think we're ready to go here. So, here we are. Yep. These little clips here, and I'm kind of pushing because I want to make sure that I'm inside that ditch. I don't want my stitches to come out here on the side where you can see them. I really want them to be pushed up in there. So that's what this little guide is doing. As it approaches the foot, you see that the binding kind of moves a little bit because it's being pushed by that guide. And that's exactly what you want, since you want to get them underneath there. There we are. Another clip. Let's take that out. Here we go. All right. We're moving right along on this one. Whoops. Uh-oh. We went a little off. See, when you take your eyes off for just a second. Let me kind of go back. There we go. Took my eyes off and kept my foot on the pedal. So that wasn't good. But we'll go back and fix that. That's not a big deal. Okay. Another clip. And we are almost halfway there. Okay, another clip. We've reached the halfway mark here. Okay. And we are almost towards the top. Okay. Grab the last clip here. And we are almost at this little tiny corner. Let me just give it a little nudge underneath here so I can finish it off. If you've got a little stiletto, you can use that as well to kind of help it along. Now I already see that this is catching on my foot, so with my needle down, I'm going to go ahead and lift this up so that I can push this underneath and then put this right down. We've only got a couple of stitches to go just to finish this up. So just want to pay a little bit of attention to those final little pieces. that little corner can be a little tricky there. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and take this out here. Okay, I know there was one spot. Yeah, here's the one spot that we were off. Took my eyes away and look what I did. Can you guys see that? Where's my little stiletto here? You can see I got a couple of stitches on the binding here. Not much, just a few. Took my eyes off for a minute and there it went. So it did kind of jump a little bit here. So I can go ahead and just pull, because I did go back and restitch, so there is another stitch line here. So I can just kind of pull this off right here. Just grab a little seam ripper and just kind of get these stitches off just to clean it up. And then the rest looks pretty good. And we now have our nice pillow wrap here, and all we have left to do is to put the little Velcro and just kind of size it up with the pillow that we have. So let me grab my clips, put these away. Don't want clips flying all over the place. And let me move this over and let's grab our pillow and see what this is going to look like. My seam ripper out of the way. Okay, let's see. We want the Velcro. So we want the Velcro this way. So I want this to be, this is my top and this is my bottom, right? So we want the Velcro to come off this way. So we're going to leave that there. And I'm going to turn this around. There we go. Nice rickrack there. Just kind of center it as best you can. And then I'm going to flip this to the back. And you want to make sure that your back piece is in first and you want your top to be on top here. So it's going to be like this. I do need to clip some of these threads. They're kind of driving me nuts. There we go. So I've got some clips here too. Let me try to take some of these out. We do still have to do some cleaning up here. So I'm going to pull this out and figure out exactly where I want this to be. I don't want it to be too high up, so it's probably going to be around this area here. And then you can kind of see here where you want this to be. And looks like that looks good. Let's see how it looks in the front. That looks pretty good. It's not too tight, right? We want it to be nice and snug. So I think this would be a great place to do that. So I'm going to grab my little marking pen here. And I just want to make a little mark as to where I'm going to put this. See, it's already kind of sticking to it. So let's see. I think this is a great spot here. Yeah, I think that will work. So I'm just going to hold it down with my hand and just kind of eyeball it. Make a little mark with my pen. And it'll just kind of tell me where to position this. It's a little hard to do it because you got this fluffy pillow underneath. But as long as you put your markings on here, you should be fine. This really doesn't need to be exact. It just needs to be wherever it's easier for the pillow to be. So that's where that's gonna go. And so I have a couple little markings on here that will help guide me. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just kind of bring this up and just basically fold it right to the edge and then just mark it right there. So when I flip it over, I'm basically gonna know exactly where it needs to be stitched on. So got my little markings here and there. There we are. Okay, I think that's good enough to help guide me. And so we've got our little mark here. Put the tape in the center of the Velcro to hold it and then stitch on the edge. No gumming of the needle. Ah, good tip. Thanks, Quilting with Harriet. Awesome, I like that. Yeah, because it is really difficult to sew on these Velcros because of, especially the side with the loops. Just really, it's really difficult to do it that way. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna kind of work on. I'm gonna go ahead and put my little Velcro here, and that will be it for this project. So I'll show you the finished project on Monday, just to show you that I've finished this off and put the little Velcro piece. But other than that, the project looks good, and I'll go ahead and finish this off. Not too sure if I'm gonna do a little bit of quilting on here. I'm gonna see what I can come up with on this space. So let's see what happens with the little beard here. I'm gonna see what fun thing I can come up with. So we'll see what I'll show you on Monday for that one. So stay tuned for that. Let's see what I can do and manage to do on my little machine here. Got that little throat space, so it's going to be a little tough, but I'm going to try to see if I can do something a little fun just over here. The pillow's going to be precious. Thanks, Connie. I think it will too. I think it's going to be really cute addition there. Brings a little bit of the holidays in and just kind of speaks Christmas, right? I do also need to put in the little eyes, so I will work on that. So little finishing touches, a lot of little threads to cut and things like that, just little tidy up pieces to clean up. But other than that, it's pretty much done. So yet another Christmas item to get checked off the list. So yeah, maybe some snaps instead of Velcro. Yeah, that you could do that. It is a little thick though, because the foam is pretty thick. So you may, it'll take some work just to kind of put it through here, but I think it's not too bad. I think it's going to be okay to do snaps as well. Alrighty, so we are running really low on time, so we want to get to our quote of the day. Oh, Marge is asking, am I live tomorrow? I am not, Marge. I am not. Tomorrow, we're going to be finishing this up, and I'm going to be working on my craft room. So I'm trying to use that time to kind of set up my craft room, the new space. Lots of work to do on that. Got popcorn ceiling to remove, painting. I'm still emptying out that space, and we are just working on that. There's a lot to do in that room, so that's why I really needed the times, because Sundays is for my mom, so I do spend my Sundays with my mom, so I only have Saturdays to really set up my room. So I try to get as much stuff as I can on Saturdays, so I won't be live tomorrow. I will see you guys on Monday. Okay, so let's get to our inspirational quote of the day, because we only have a minute left here. Okay, so today's quote of the day is, your craft may not be perfect, but it's always sincere and full with love. And that's exactly what we have today on our project. So I may not be the perfect sewer, crafter, quilter, whatever, but I'm happy with the little jobs that I do, and I do it with a lot of love. So I hope the people that I gift them to enjoy them, and it's just a memory that I can kind of pass on. So I just try to do it with a lot of love. So thank you guys all for all your support. I really appreciate it. Yes, very true, Robin. Let's see. Did you know popcorn ceilings are back in style? Yeah, but I prefer the whole rest of the house. I took the popcorn ceiling off, and that's the only room in the house that still has the popcorn ceiling. So we're just going to do it and get it over with. Okay, so thank you again for you guys coming along with me on my sewing journey. I really appreciate all of the support. Gosh, guys, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend and do all the things that you love, and maybe spend a little time in that craft room. And I hope you have a really nice time. Don't forget to kind of share some times with your family and friends, because that's always really special to do. Get some memories and create some new ones. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.